What's up, guys? The Immortal Nerd here, and welcome back to Let's Talk Anime, where we talk about anything and everything that is anime. Now, what made me make this video is because I just watched the live action movie for Death Note last night, which was Saturday night. There's so much I could say about the movie. I don't know if I'll be able to get them all in this video because I may forget some while I'll be rambling on about one particular thing. But anyway, yeah. So the first thing that I realized, it was a movie and not a TV series. So that was one thing I was worried about that. And the reason being because with a movie, if it is not handled correctly, if it starts out bad, it's going to end bad. So, like I was hoping it could have been a series, because if it started out bad and if it was done correctly, it could have gradually, became good, right? But for a movie, you have very little opportunity for that to happen unless you are a very good director. And the story was magnificent. But and it was only an hour and 40 minutes, so I was like, it's going to be interesting how they compact all of this stuff in and how it will relate to the actual original Japanese anime. So I guess that's the next thing to talk about. 90 I'll say 97% was not relatable to the show, to the original Japanese anime. 97%. I probably could have said 99, but anyway. So the major, I don't want to talk about the differences first. I want to talk about what did they have in common. Ryuk, that's what else? Light, dad, he's in there, and he is a cop, so they kept that. The Death Note, obviously. What else? Anything major? Japan, they had that in there, but not for like the whole time. It was only a little. Excuse me. It was only a little bit, because the original anime, it takes place in Japan, and this live action movie of Death Note, it takes place in America, in the United States. So I guess I can go ahead and get with the differences. It takes place in the U.S. Now, what I said before about the similarities about Japan is that Ale, who is black, not Japanese, and Light, he's white and not Japanese. But anyway, that's besides the point. Here, Ale, he is located in Japan at first, because he slips or he leaks out some information about these two gangs in Japan that had a truce with each other, and Light got a hold of it and said, hey, I'm gonna kill these two gangs in this club in Japan. And that's really the only thing Japanese about this movie, besides Watari, which is Ale's, I think Butler or something like that. But yeah, that's it. Um, but so the rest of it takes place in the U.S. Other differences. Light, he does not have a mother nor a sister. In the show he has a mom, dad, and a sister. The show he doesn't. He just has his dad. He did have a mom, but she died from a car accident, I think. In the show she also dies as well, but I think she dies, and his sister. But that's because he did it. He was already deep in whatever he was doing, so he was like he really didn't care. And he also had his dad killed too, if I remember. Yeah, he had him killed too in the show. But in the movie, his dad doesn't die. He doesn't die. What else? The girl Mia, if I remember correctly, that was her name in the show as well, or it could have been a different girl entirely. I think it was Mia, but she doesn't have a Shinigami. Like, she doesn't know anything about the Death Note. Like, in the show, she had a Shinigami and a Death Note long before Light even had one. And here, she doesn't. Like, she doesn't know anything about it. But how they push her into it was like, okay, no big deal. Like, alright, it's a Death Note. Okay. It works. Cool. Like, what? Like, I get that these two people, Light and Mia, they had them as these I wouldn't even call them misfits. Like, they were just downright, it was something wrong with them in the head. Like, understandably, Light situation, his mom had died, don't really know how long ago, and he was so bent on the guy who killed his mother, he just he got away with murder, basically. And I guess he was just so pissed off about that. And I guess he got beat up a lot in school. They don't really say about that. You just see him get beat up once by this kid from trying to save this other guy, but he ends up getting beat up. Which I had to think about that, because he tried to save this other guy, this male student. He runs away, but then like the two bullies that was beating up the previous kid was trying to go after the girl. He was like, "No, get away from her! You can't touch her," or anything like that. It was very overacting there. But he said something like smart, like witty, and they started laughing at him, and he like caught on to that. He was like, "Oh, she laughed at my jokes. I should, milk it some more." No, you was lucky the first time. You should have walked away, but he kept going and ended up getting a black eye. So yeah, they ended up getting detention because he got caught with loads of copied homework from other students, and he was getting paid to do that. So that was another difference there. What else? Mia, I didn't like her character at all. They cursed a lot in this show. In the movie. What do we got? Okay, I should talk about the relationship between Light and Ryuk. In the show, they were kind of like partners in a sense, but in the movie, they're not. Like, you know that they're not. And Ryuk, he kind of shows that. He says like in the show, he does like say, I'm not on the good side or the bad side. I'm just here to watch you work, and if you need me to do something to keep this game going, to keep it interesting, I'll do it. But in the movie, he's not like that. Yes, he says I'm not with good or bad. I do want, this game to continue, but if you're not going to make this interesting for me, I'm going to get somebody else to do it. And I may end up killing you in the process. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. Anything else? Now, when I'm pointing out these differences, it's not to say that it made the show bad. I'm just saying that these are differences between the show and the movie. Did I just call this movie a show again? I don't know. But anyway, yeah. I'm not trying to, I'm not saying that these differences are what made it bad. Other stuff made it bad. Like, can I talk about L now? To be honest, I don't think there was anything wrong with him. No. Like, the characters that I think that was fine, the butler, L, Light's dad, and all of the extra characters, that's it. People that I didn't like was Light and Mia. I don't know. It was stupid. Like, okay, one thing that he messed up on, and this kind of correlates with superhero movies. Not saying that he's a superhero, but it kind of correlates. Rule number 1: never tell anybody that you have some type of supernatural thing or ability in your possession, no matter who it is or who you think you can trust. You don't tell them, especially not willingly or voluntarily. No, you don't do that. Like, he was reading the Death Note. He was reading the rules in the Death Note, like during PE class. And Mia, she saw him and walked up to him like, "Hey, what you doing?" He's like, "Oh, nothing." She was like, "What's that thing?" The Death Note. He was like, "What? What? I don't know what you're talking about. This is nothing." And then he was like, "I can't tell you." She was like, "Okay." Then he was like, "You want me to tell you?" Like, "I can tell you. Like, come with me. I'll show you." And I'm like, "What? What are you doing?" Like, why would you do something like that? Like, you don't know what kind of person she is. Like, I guess he did like get a sense that she's kind of like him. But no, I would not do that. If I had that book, I would not have done that, because you don't know what she could have done. She could have reported you to the police. Like, especially if it was some sane girl who was all innocence and all of that. She's like, "Oh my God, you killed so and so. Like, I know you didn't mean to do it. Like, you were mad and all that stuff, but you killed him. I have to tell somebody. Like, you have to go to jail." No, so yeah, you don't do that. You should have just waited that 7 days. Like, "Oh my God, I just killed him." Wait that 7 days and let it go to a new user or whatever. But yeah, that's the one problem I had with it, and his character. Another thing I had with the movie is this romance they put in it. Why did you do that? They could have taken that out and placed that with more of the story, because another thing that I didn't like, it was so compact. Like, they try to push everything from the series into this movie, and it was rushed. You can tell it was rushed. I don't know. Like I recorded myself, watching it last night, and I should just take a look at some of the clips here. Just take a look at some of the clips right there. I'll let you look. Yeah, it was that. It was that bad. Like, like, the movie in general, as a whole, it wasn't bad. There were just a whole lot of bad stuff in it, if that makes sense. Like, it could have been a whole lot better. Now, I get that it said it was based on the Death Note show, but your basis was not very good. I mean, the fact that they weren't Japanese did not bother me at all. Some of their acting is what had bothered me. Like, and the fact that I don't know. I had it in my head last night when I was trying to come up with this, but it lost me for a minute. I'll just get back to that. But I guess I can say L, he does not die. He does not die, so that's a good thing, I guess. But they do have him as wanting to seek revenge himself, because his butler Watari, use it like Watari. I keep pronouncing my R's as a D when I pronounce it fast. But anyway, his butler, he dies. And I guess he was like emotionally attached to him, I guess. Like, that was his like best friend, I guess you could say, or somebody that was with him since day one when he graduated from that little institution that makes, supernatural intelligence. I mean, detectives. And when he found out that Kita or Light killed them, he was in Light's room because he figured out where one of the pages of the Death Note was, and he found it in a calculus book, and he was going to write Light's name in it, but he doesn't, and I was kind of happy that he didn't. I was like, no, don't do it, no, something like he's probably gonna, like Light probably had a backup plan for that, like he probably wrote in the book, if L writes in this book, he dies instantly or something like that. I don't know. But he didn't have that kind of plan. But it was nice to see that L did not write in the book to seek that vengeance. I was happy about that. Another thing I did not like, well, one thing I did like, Mia, she dies. Thank goodness. I know that sounded mean, but I did not like her character at all. Like, I probably won't get into it a whole lot in this video. I'm gonna have a certain time limit for this video, and I'll go way past it if I talk about her. So moving on, one thing I did not like is that Light ends up getting away with this whole thing, and I think that has something to do with it being this movie being created in the eyes of an American as a U.S. citizen. I have a problem with that. Like, it was pretty much saying this kid can get away with a murder, let alone him being a white kid. But I don't want to go into that realm right now. Just a kid can get away with murder like that, let alone his dad figuring out it was him, and he explains it all to his father how it worked and all of that, and that's it. That was it. Like, I had a big problem with that, him getting away with those murders. I don't know. I'm sure all the Light fans loved it. Depends on if they like the movie at all. But yeah, I did not. No. What else? I felt like it could have been done a whole lot better, really. It could have. But it was a movie. It was a movie. There's only so much you can do with something like that. And the director did the best that he could with what he had. And it came out okay. To be honest, I would have gave it a C. I would give it a C. To be honest, I would give it a C. Because there were some good parts in there, and I just can't ignore those because of all of the things that I didn't like. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about this. I know I missed a couple of things, or a few things that I wanted to talk about, but like I said, I wanted to keep this as short as possible. But yeah, you guys tell me if you watched the movie at all. Tell me what you liked or didn't like about it, and if you agreed or disagreed with what I said. Put that in the comments below. I want to, get this thing, I want some interaction with this. I want some activity going down there in the comments. If you like this video, please thumbs it up. Like, share, subscribe. Get this out there to all the nerds in the universe, multiverse, and alternate dimensions. And I will see you in my next video. Oh, and if you guys have not noticed, I have been putting up my reactions and thoughts to Attack on Titan Season 2 videos. So give those a view as well. I'll probably have those somewhere up here at my end screen. So yeah, make sure you get those. Make sure you give those a view as well. And I appreciate you guys for liking my videos and watching them as well. Thank you guys for doing that. So as I said again, please like, share, subscribe, get this out there to all the nerds and in the universe, multiverse, and alternate dimensions. And I will see you in the next one. The Immortal Nerd signing off.